Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Yvette, and this is Eva J's Mystical Messages, and we're on day number 17 of the 21-day meditation challenge. Yes, I just uploaded a video. Yes, it was done for the 26th. Yes, I am behind the time, but it's life, and that's how it goes. I did actually do the meditation last night. I've been doing the meditation every night or every day for the last 2.5 weeks. And so this is just the continuation of that. And we're on day number 17 right now. Tonight I will be doing day number 18 and then recording it, uploading it tomorrow, which is how I'm decided to do these videos. So it makes it a little bit easier, and it makes it, the blocks of time that I use to do it is not so massive. So I decided to change a little bit so that the videos are a little bit distinguishable, so I can upload them easier and stuff like that. So, which is why I unzipped my jacket. But this is so warm jacket. Got it for Christmas last year, and it's just nice. It's so warm. But anyway, that was a diversion. Okay, sorry about that. At any rate, um, before I start with the meditation, I have to tell you a little bit of something that happened to me, and this was back when I was 20 years old. I had a dream that I met an alien from out there somewhere, and I called him father, which is just for lack of a better term. He was like a paternal figure, and he was very nice to me. And I actually described this in an interview that I did on the LA Dreams Down Under channel. It was at that time that I was taking part in it. She called it "The Universe Always Wins," which was really also a good name for it. But at any rate, I will try to find that link to that video where I describe it, where I go into detail about it in the interview, as well as me speak about the event of my when I was 5 years old. So all of these things. Well, a lot of these things I discussed in the video with Ellie, and so I'll try to include that so that you can have a look at it. Um, but at any rate, so the reason I mention this is because in the meditation today I do mention him, and I actually do talk to him, which is kind of weird, because a lot of people say the ETs are out there, and that there are aliens, and you have guides, you have angels, and you have aliens, and so I sort of have an alien guide who I call Father, who is manifest in a dream that I had. So with that said, yes, I'm weird. Yes, um, I have voices in my head, and sometimes it gets interesting. But this is something that I have been aware of since I was 20. And soon after, and I didn't mention this in the interview, but soon after I had this experience, about 5 or 6 years later, when I was living in Germany, um, after I'd moved to Germany, and actually when we were living in this apartment, so this was like 20 something years ago when we first moved here, I started talking to him again, and I kept a journal of my conversations with him. And I actually mentioned this to somebody in Unity, and I said that I would like to publish it someday, because I thought that there was some pretty interesting insights into it. And they said that I should publish it as fiction because as a biographical type of outline or something, that it wasn't applicable or something. They didn't I don't think they believed me when I told them what I had experienced or what I had what I had done. So there was a lot of people who thought that this was too woo-woo for them, and that's okay. I mean, it is a little bit woo-woo, so we'll just take it as it comes. But at any rate, that is a small preamble to what I got here as far as my meditation from last night is concerned. So this is day number 17 for January 27th, 2026, and of course today is January 28th. So we finally get be caught up, which is nice. So here we go. I started out by saying, in a way, it feels good to do this, but I have not fully finished what I intended on doing with it. Nigel said the inspiration will come. Then you can post the videos tomorrow. which I already did. Okay. You are not obligated to do anything with this. Just continue with us and each day and see where you go spiritually. Once you complete this, then you decide where to go from here. Sometimes it is more important for you to sit and decide for yourself where specifically you wish to go. You have come a great distance during the past few days, and now you are here at this place overlooking your meadow. You can always come to this special place. You can always speak to us when the Spirit moves you to open your mouth and allow the words to emerge. It is not always a question of where you can post this to, but a question of how you feel after hearing, after having done, uh, after having done it. You are not obligated to pick a certain moment to speak to us. You know that you have spoken to us at any given moment. I said, I always feel that this is something I want to continue. Maybe go back to some old journals and read through them again when I get the chance. These old notebooks are somewhere, maybe in the basement of this building or in some nook or file or somewhere. Nigel says, those old journals do hold some very profound lessons for you. It is not always a question of you having written them down, but they are also an opportunity for you to go back to them and find some answers to questions. You have been doing this for a long time. It dates back to the being you called Father. These old journals were perhaps a bit strange, but you developed a gift back then, and your conversations and insights with him started all of this. I said, were you Father? Was that you coming to me in another form? Nigel says, no, it was someone from far off place. The words he spoke to you were profound. You must not feel strange for having spoken to him. His connection to you started back in 1991, but he has been a guiding force in you from that moment on. What do you remember about him? I said, I remember the dream, him coming to me in a dream. He was from another world. Is what I remember about him truth? Nigel says, what you remember of him has contained was as what that was contained within a dream. I said, yes, I know that. But with all of the talk today about alien contacts and ETs visiting this planet, was he in alien contact with me? What I mean is, was I special to him to want to contact me, or was it just my imagination that was parallel to a sense of fruition through a dream? I mean, he was just a dream, wasn't he? Nigel says, what do you want to believe about him? I said, I don't really know. Maybe just to feel a sense that he was real. It is rather far-fetched. Why would an alien from an advanced world want to have contact with me? Nigel says, why wouldn't he? I said, I don't know. Maybe for much of my life I have not really felt all that special. Nigel says, Yvette, I'm going to tell you something that may seem out of this world to you. And I said, no pun intended? He said, he's chuckling. He says, no pun intended. The dreams that you had with Father and his family was real. But it was not only real it was only real in a spiritual sense. In your physical reality, there's no way for you to go to another planet and experience life on that world. You can only imagine it in a spiritual sense. It's like imagining yourself in another place and then waking up and being where you are. I said, okay, but was he real? I mean, could I talk to him like I'm talking to you? And Nigel says, of course you can. He is a part of you. He is a part of your Akashic records. He's within your realm of imaginings. You could speak to him at any given moment, and he will tell you the same words as I am telling you right now. You are special enough for him to speak to you. You are not alone in your imaginings about him, and when you want to talk to him again, you still can. I said, that's a lot to take in. Nigel, can I ask you one more question? It's far removed from Father and his presence in my life, but why is it when I start writing here, I suddenly get warm? It feels like I am completely engulfed in warmth, but cannot figure out why that is the case. Nigel says, the energy you are feeling as we speak always makes itself known through warmth, even on days when it feels cold. You will generally feel a sense of warmth enfold you. Most times when you feel this, you may feel a rise or lowering of your temperature. It is perhaps the only physical incarnation that tells you, yes, we are here and you are never alone. I said, it feels like a supergalactic hug. Nigel says, in a manner of speaking, yes, consider yourself hugged. I said, thank you, Nigel, and if you are here, Father, thank you as well. And then Father comes in and says, I am here, Yvette. You are not alone in all of this, especially now when life is hard for you. We are with you. It is not as it was when you dreamt about us, but it is a part of your life, and we will share good and news with you in the coming days. That is, if you are willing to hear it. Are you? I said, yes, I am. I have so many questions. And Nigel said, our Father says, we will have time for them. Rest and know that we have time and ability to speak. It has always been the case, but you did not know it any, and you needed to realize it. I said, I hope we can spend some time talking. I still feel strange because you are in essence a manifestation from a dream. And he says, well, I am far more than just a manifestation. Please know and accept that. We will speak soon. And I said, thank you, Nigel. Are you still here? And Nigel says, yes, till we meet again. So that was the end of that. Well, really the end of it, maybe the beginning of it. I don't know. But at any rate, so I'm going to, I really do want to put some cards on this because I am feeling that this was like kind of a coming into a new frame of mind and coming into a new sort of sense of myself as a spiritual being. And the thing is, I have never contemplated. I mean, we have guides, we have angels, but I've never contemplated this notion that there was an ET that is, talking to me through telepathy or through my mind and through an energy. And so what I want to do is I want to pull some cards on this. I want to pull cards on not just on Father and the notion that there is that I had a interaction or a chat with an ET last night, but I want to I want to pull cards on the notion of the ETs that are watching over us as a planet, as a society, civilization, what have you. I want to find out what the card can tell me about this alien or this outer worldly impact or influence that is happening uh, with us, because there is something going on. More and more people are having these interactions with aliens. A lot of people are having interactions with celestial beings. A lot of people are, they may not be writing books about it, but they are having experiences. There are people who are having experiences that are celestial in nature or galactic in nature or something. So I want to pull cards on this notion of alien impacts or influences on this world. What can the cards tell me about the the alien or the outer worldly? I like to call them outer worldly because it sounds more it doesn't sound, because to them we're alien. So, you know, um so I don't really like to use the term alien in that sense because it feels like that it just feels like it's like separating, like a consciousness separation or something. So I want to say outer worldly. So those who are from other places beyond this planet or this condition, I guess you could say. So let's see what the cards have to tell me about this. Good. Uh, the first card out is the Two of Swords, and this is about a choice. Also, do we accept this, or do we embrace it? Do we accept it, or do we ignore it? And I get the feeling that they will not be ignored. They will not be ignored. There's too much happening, too much going on that that magnifies all of this. So I don't think that they're going to be ignored. I think that what they're saying is you have a choice. You can accept or ignore it, but ignore it at your own detriment. And it's crossed by the Knight of Wands. And if my memory serves, okay, if my memory is correct, and I'm not sure if it is, but the Knight of Wands, I believe, is the one who is surging forward. He's moving forward at great velocity. So the Knight of Wands is the guy saying, okay, here we go. I got my horse. I got my, I'm moving forward with this. So I get the impression that the Knight of Wands is wise enough to know that he is not alone in this, or that we are not alone in this, that we are, moving forward, and a lot of us are moving forward in this notion that we are not alone in this world, or that in the universe, and that there are lots of planets, a lot of life beyond just what we know as to be real. The underarching energy is the Hierophant, and I'm trying to remember what the Hierophant signifies, but this is major. Okay, my guides are telling me that this is the spirituality that is becoming so overwhelmingly obvious in the grand scheme of things that we cannot ignore it. So the choice to ignore or to heed is there, and this is like this is so obvious and so overwhelming that we have really no other alternative but to heed it. So in the immediate past, we have the Magician. Well, to me, the Magician symbolizes here, for me, organized religion, or the notion that we have to believe a certain thing. And I'm immediately reminded of my 8-year-old self when I asked if it's okay to pray even if we don't go to church. So the Magician for me is this notion that although he is bringing all of these things together, the thing is, the Magician to me is about religion, and it's about belief, and it's about people trying to decide if they're going to go along with religion and what religion teaches, or if they're going to say, well, religion is incomplete, it doesn't really explain everything, and it kind of is man-centric. And I don't mean just man as in mankind, but I mean man as in masculine-centric. So what we've got is we've got this religions, and all of them seem to have the same kind of hangups with it, with the hierarchy, with the masculinity, with the patriarchy, with this idea that the only leaders and the only ones that are really um, manifesting truth are the men. And so when you have just the men saying that this is what is real and what is, then the whole notion of feminine energy is ignored, and it's basically shoved to the side. And so what I think this is I think that this is in the immediate, while it's because it's in the position of the immediate past, this is like us saying, well, is the religion really the answer to the end all be all answer to everything? And we are seeing all of these indicators that no, it's not. And so we're kind of like at that place where we're saying, it's not the end all be all, because there's too many questions that arise from it anyway. And so the Magician is that letting, it's that idea of letting go of this idea that, that these two things are in complete contact, they're in conflict with each other. You've got the spirituality where people are saying, I want to live a spiritual life. I want my nature is my church, or nature is what I believe in, or this idea that the feminine energy of the mother, the nurturing, the loving, the kind, and what have you. So all of these things are, this is like looking at your spirituality And then this is like the religion that has kind of bonded us into this idea of it just being one way and not other ways. So the overarching energy is justice. And justice is, God, three art majors in one in a row. That's pretty wild. Justice is about that balance. Okay. When you look at this, when you look at the justice card, you see the scales. And what it is to me is it's this idea of balancing the whole the dogma, the religion, the ideology, and what spirituality brings into all of it. So and I think that what it is also is this acceptance that the ETs are out there and that they are trying to help guide us, and they're saying that there's something really, really beyond just the um they're saying paganistic religion that we have succumbed to as a society. And I don't mean the pagans like the Wiccans and stuff like that. I mean the pagan ideas that encompass or embody the religious ideologies of the various faiths or the various paths of religion and what have you. So this is that balancing out of all of that, and this is to me this is what the ETs are trying to tell us. Is they're saying that we are learning, we are in our infancy, we are learning to balance the spiritual and this belief system that we have been brought into. And I don't want to say brainwashed, but that's the word they're telling me, is that brainwashed. It is this idea that we are being told how we're supposed to believe, what we're supposed to believe, and where we can pray, and how we should pray, and what we eat on Fridays or what have you. So it's all of these things that they're trying to tell us to balance out. Now, if we feel comfortable eating fish on Fridays, then let's eat fish on Fridays. But if we're not comfortable with that idea and we want to eat curry chicken with rice and beans, then we should be able to eat curry chicken with rice and beans when we want to, and not be dictated by an ideology that tells us what we're supposed to do, when we're supposed to do it, and how we're supposed to do it. So that's what they're telling me, that this is that finding that balance, finding that belief that makes people feel that peace or that sense of peace and oneness, but also being open to the idea that there's something more out there than just that. In the immediate future, we have the Emperor, which is really strange because the Emperor, and I keep pulling major arcana here. The Emperor is, in some instances, this is about the masculine energy. This is that, and I think that what this is telling me is that the patriarchy and the religions and stuff are going to try and fight against this. They don't like this because this takes the power out of their hands and puts it in the hands of the people. And so they don't like this. They do not want us to uh, walk into this idea that, one, that there's somebody that has more power than they do, and two, that it is not a masculine figure. Internally, we have the King of Swords. Now, internally, I think that this is the religions. This is where they are. They're sitting on their throne. They're happy. They have the power. They have all the swords and everything. What could go wrong? But I think there's more to it than just that. And I think that they're starting to realize that there's more to it than just that. Let me just check the cheat sheet here, and I'm gonna to get the emotions about the swords, about the King of Swords, because I think that there is something else here, and my guides are saying yes, there is something else here. Okay. This says that the King of Swords is cool, detached. He's strong and intriguing, but detached. That's the word that kind of leaps out at me. This idea of all of these religions separating people from one another, creating detachments between families, between friends, between coworkers, what have you. So there's that detachment that is happening, and this is what they're trying to create, is this sort of detached idea, because once people are detached, then it's easier to control them. And so when you have a detached figure who is pushing this same level of detachment, then you have this 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 ability to control what people say, think, believe, and do. And so that's what I think is going on. Um, Externally, you have the Page of Wands, which is um, energetic, cheerful, optimistic. Okay, so that's externally. When you're looking at all the people and you're seeing light workers out there having, experiences and having and feeling good about something, then that counters everything that they're trying to push. And because this is a page, this is like a new energy. This is a new, it's sort of, I don't want to say naive, because naive implies childish and not aware. But what it is I think this is a new awareness that's coming through to people. And with the ETs, they're saying, yeah, move forward with this, move forward with the idea that community is good, move forward in the idea of oneness is good, move forward in the idea that feminine energy is good, and that the feminine energy is what's really going to kind of rule the day in the end. So all of this is brand new. This is a brand new sort of feel that we have going on. Hopes and fears, it's a Ten of Pentacles. And I think that um this is the money train just no longer being there. Religion makes a lot of money. Churches have a lot of money, and money equals power. Money equals influence. Money equals, you know, politics, everything. Money is about everything, the root of everything. But the thing is that people are starting to realize that it's not just about money. It's about recognition of community. It's about the idea that this is no longer as important as they want it to be. They want this to be important. And when the ETs come in and they say, well, you know what? This isn't so important. You're no longer having to contend with this. This is not as important as people want to believe. This is for entertainment only, by the way, just so you know. Entertainment only, spiritual purposes only, yada, yada, yada. But the money is not really the answer. And this is what people are recognizing, and this is what the ETs are telling us, is that the money is not the answer, and that is not that does not equate to power. Power is something else entirely. And the outcome is the Devil. Okay. Um the Devil, oh my goodness. Okay, let me just do this. Let me just see. Um because I think that this is really um the outcome says reckless pursuit of pleasure, moderate your behavior, keep watch for obsessions, do not let any belief or practice overshadow all other aspects of your life or your responsibilities to yourself and others. So this does not mean that we go into this belief that the ETs are out there and that they're going to save us from ourselves. What this is about recognition of what is good for you spiritually and what is not good for you spiritually. Normally you would see this card and you would think, oh God, this is like a really bad card. This is like, oh my God, the Devil card. You know, but keep in mind, and my guides just told me, the name Lucifer was an angel. And they said that Lucifer, and somebody actually told me once that Lucifer was a figure that was that was decided to be the devil, but they were there to teach us. They were there to teach us about ourselves and about what is good for us and what is not good for us. So this card is basically saying, be wary of what may be too good to be true. And if it seems too good to be true, maybe it is. And so be mindful of that. Be mindful of what people tell you. You may not necessarily believe it. It may not necessarily be, what is of importance, but be wary and be mindful of it. And be wary of the idea of overdoing something. Because anything done in excess is going to have a negative impact. Anything that people do in excess is going to have a negative impact. And I say that because a lot of people think that this is like that I'm being, a little bit woo-woo here, but the thing is that when anything, like if you drink too much water, you could eternally drown. You could unalive yourself if you drink too much water. If you eat too much salt, you could have high blood pressure. It could have an adverse response on your body. These things in salt and water, initially they are good. You cannot survive without water. You cannot survive, salt is also something that you have to have, at least in moderation. But if you go in and say, I'm going to eat like all the chocolate cake I want because I like sweets, you could develop diabetes. If you take too much salt in, you could get high blood pressure. If you drink too much water, you could have kidney failure. I mean, any of that stuff. And I'm not a doctor. I'm not offering medical anything. Okay, this is entertainment only, but this is just my thoughts about it. And so when I pull this card, it's not necessarily a bad card that I'm pulling because there's no real bad cards. This is just saying be mindful. All of these cards are saying be mindful of things. They're just focusing on certain aspects. And so it's like the question of why do Hindi people believe in various gods and goddesses? It's aspects. It's aspects. Just like I said when I was 8 years old, it's aspects. And so these cards focus on aspects of life and on aspects of things that people can take and they can create. But as with any spiritual practice, you take what you want, dismiss the rest, and then move on. And so that's what this was about. And I think that's what the ETs are telling me, is that the best thing to do is to allow yourself to find the balance and reside in that balance. And that's the message. That was the message that I got. So at any rate, I've babbled on long enough and I have got to get going. So I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for liking and sharing this if you think anybody could get some use out of it or some information out of it, or what I don't know, information I'm not so sure about, but you know what I mean. So at any rate, I got to put these cards back in, shuffle them back in. But at any rate, the thing is to just hang in there, just to keep the faith that everything is going to be okay, that we're all going to get through this, that no matter what happens, we are in this together, and that there are, from what I understand, there will be some good days coming. I think that everybody's sort of on edge right now because everybody feels that there's something going on. And I think that there is something going on. I think things are about to change. I think things are coming to a head now, and things are starting to change. So, well, let me just do real quick. I'll just pull out the yes and no cards just real quick. Just a quick question, and then I'll close. So, because I'm been on here almost 40 minutes here. Okay, so real quick, are things about to change? Are things in our world about to change? No, they're not about to change. Okay, what's underneath that? But a yes card. Okay, so no, they're not about to change. Okay, will there be changes soon? Will there be changes soon? Will there be changes soon? And I said no. But underneath that is a yes. So I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know. I do not know. Let's try this because I'm a glutton for punishment here. Okay, I'll just try I haven't tried these in a while, so I tried them yesterday, a couple of days ago, and then they didn't want to cooperate. So, okay, please show me yes. Show me yes, please. Okay, thank you. Show me no. Show me no, please. Okay, somebody is here. I'm not sure who. Sunshine, is this you? Sunshine, are you controlling my rods? Nigel, are you controlling my rods? Ramon? Okay. Father, are you controlling them? Oh my goodness. Father, you're controlling them. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Uh, okay. Please tell me, is change coming on planet Earth? Is change coming? Is change coming? Yes. Thank you. Okay. Will it be soon? Will the change that is coming, will it be soon? Is the energy I'm feeling indicative that it is coming soon? Father, is the change coming soon? Okay. All right. Ah, now they're getting tangled up with each other. Okay, so well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Things I need practice. I need to practice my flute too, but that's another story. At any rate, but yeah. So I'm gonna let you go now. So thank you. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for liking. Thank you for watching. Thank you for commenting. I love comments. I read them all. I don't always get punctually respond to them, but I do love reading them. So thank you for commenting on these videos. I hope you have a great day. Take care. And as always, namaste.